I just made my first 100K at 16 years old just 2 years prior and lost it all. Fast forward to now, I've made over 7 figures online through dropshipping at just 19 years old. Today, I'm gonna finally tell you guys exactly how I did it. I grew up pretty poor in a small town in Iowa called Ames. I was raised by a single immigrant mom only making $22,000 per year, doing everything she could to raise 3 boys in a country that she was still learning herself. We didn't have much. I shared a room with both of my brothers, wore hand-me-downs, and relied on free lunch at school and food stamps to eat. Money was always tight. I was constantly seeing my mom being stressed about bills every single day growing up. And for as long as I can remember, I was always looking for ways to make money to ease that financial burden for my family. I didn't grow up around wealth. I didn't have mentors. No one taught me about business or money. But for some reason, I always had this feeling like I was meant for something more, like I was gonna be the one to break the cycle. My journey into online business started when I was just 12 years old. If you're watching this right now, you're probably just like how I was, spending hours online, searching for ways to make money and hoping to find something that actually works. And that's exactly how I came across the business model that I didn't know at the time, but would change my life: dropshipping. I kept seeing people on YouTube talking about making money online, and I kept thinking, if they can do it, why not me? So I dove in. I started watching every single video on YouTube, opting into free courses, building websites. I basically became obsessed with this business model. And in the start, I was failing a lot. My first store flopped, second store, 0 sales as well. And honestly, it's because I didn't know what I was doing. I thought if I just built a Shopify store, people would just magically start buying my product. I didn't even run any ads to my store at all. I would just wait and think that somehow somebody was gonna buy from my store. And as you guys know, nobody was buying because nobody was running ads to that store. That's when I realized, oh, you actually have to market your product with ads. So what did I do? I set up my first Facebook ad campaign, and boom, my second roadblock. You need money to run ads. And at the time, I didn't even have $100 to my name. So I took a step back from trying to get rich young with dropshipping and decided to be a kid again. But I still had that hunger in me. I hated asking anyone for anything, especially money. I was determined to earn money on my own. So I started hustling, selling candy at school, flipping anything, reselling anything that I could get my hands on, just doing whatever I could do to make money. And that got me by to the summer after 8th grade. That's where I got my first real job, working in the cornfields as a detasseler. I literally started that job the day after my 14th birthday. That's how hungry I was. Fast forward to sophomore year of high school, I was playing AAU basketball. And if you've ever played travel ball, you know how expensive it gets. Hotels, gas, food, you need cash just to exist at tournaments. And that's why I started my second business, curb painting. I'd go door to door and ask people if I could paint their house number on their curb. And I would tell them that I was doing it to pay for my travel costs for AAU. And by doing that, that's how I started learning sales and how to offer value. I'd explain how having your house number painted on your curb helps delivery drivers and emergency responders. And that was enough to get people to pay me $30 just for a few minutes of work. I was doing about 10 houses a day, so taking home around 300 split by 2 people, 150 in my pocket every single day at just 15 years old. And in the grand scheme of things, that's really nothing, but nobody could tell me different at that time. I was on top of the world. Making that little 150 every single day by myself might be one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life till this day. I knew so many people working regular jobs at the time, not making close to what I was making doing this little side hustle. I remember asking my uncle for $100 when I was like 8 years old, and he looked at me and said, $100? You know I gotta work 16 hours just to make that? And that right there always stuck with me. Now that I was making that just in a few hours painting curbs, I knew one thing: I could never ever work a 9 to 5 ever in my life after making this type of money. After saving up some good money painting curbs, I decided to give dropshipping another shot. But this time, I tried a new method that was just gaining attention at the time: TikTok organic. A lot of people talk about TikTok organic right now, but back in 2021, barely anybody was doing it. I was genuinely one of the first people to ever do it. I launched a product on the platform called Hype Boosters, and it hit off rip. And that's where I made my first 10K in a month at just 15 years old. Imagine being a regular high school kid, sharing a room with your brothers, playing AAU ball, doing dumb stuff with your friends after school, and suddenly you're making $10,000 in just 1 month. It didn't feel real. I had multiple other products pop off after that too. I'll throw up some receipts of products that I ran on the screen for anybody that doesn't believe me. TikTok organic is what laid the foundation for me. I ended up doing just under 200K in sales with TikTok organic. Mind you, that's at 70% margins. But after a while, I got burnt out. Making videos every single day, shipping in products, dealing with content flopping even if the product was solid. Plus on top of that, I had just started my junior year of high school, and balancing everything got tough, so I made the shift to paid ads, specifically on the platforms Facebook and TikTok. For anyone who doesn't know what paid ads are when you pay platforms to push your product in front of people that are likely to buy. In simple terms, you trade money for attention, and that's where things started to scale big. I started running paid ads on Facebook, I started running paid ads on TikTok, and it took me about a week or two to crack the code, but once I did, it was over. I scaled the product that I'm about to put up on the screen right now to over 100K per month at just 16 years old, right before the start of my junior year basketball season. The store was literally pulling in 20K plus fair profit every single month, and with numbers like that coming into my bank account every single month, I made a decision that most people at the time could not understand. I quit basketball. Now that might not seem like a big deal to most people, but the high school that I went to was a basketball powerhouse. We're talking about guys like Harrison Barnes, Doug McDermott, Fred Hoiberg. They all came out of my school. And the squad that I was playing with as well, straight dogs. 3 of my would have been teammates ended up going D1. But for me, the decision came down to this. I already had momentum in business. I already had something that could change me and my family's life right at that moment. And in business, just like sports, there's only small windows of opportunity. When you catch a wave, you gotta ride it all the way. I was able to scale that store to just under 300K before the product started to slow down. And looking back, that product really didn't die out. I just didn't understand how important creative testing was. I didn't realize that fresh content is literally everything in this business. Once that product stopped working, it was getting close to the summer before my senior year. So I said, you know what? Let me be a kid again. I started playing ball again and actually joined the team again. That year, I was probably the least locked in I have ever been on business in the past 3 to 4 years. I was enjoying life, talking to girls, hanging out with friends every day, going to parties, just honestly living like a normal high school kid. But after my senior year basketball season ended, that hunger came right back. The money that I had just made and had saved, gone. Between careless spending, getting hit with a massive IRS bill that I was not ready for, I was basically back to square one. And with graduation coming up fast, I knew I couldn't waste any more time. I had already seen what was possible, and I knew what I was capable of, so I locked in again. It was time to go full force on business and start scaling for real. This time, I wasn't just some kid testing random products. I knew how to build stores, write copy, test creatives, and run ads. I just had to tap back into that mindset, the same one that I had when I was first initially starting online business. The first thing I did was relearn everything from a new lens. I started diving into what was working right now, not what was working in 2020. I started building better systems, product research based on data, high converting product pages, structured ad testing, building out branding and consistency, and most importantly, I treated it like a real business. I didn't just chase trends, I started thinking long term. I tested a few products initially that didn't work out at first, but every test taught me something new. Eventually, I came across a product that just made sense. Solid demand, easy to sell, and on top of that, great margins. I built the store, launched creatives, and this time I had everything dialed in. A and B tested ads, custom landing pages, proper pixel setup. I literally tracked everything. And what do you know? That product hit. I went from making nothing to doing 10K days again, but this time I knew how to handle it. I saved for taxes, reinvested into creatives, and focused on profit, not just revenue. Once I had some capital, I realized that I didn't want to keep chasing new products forever. And that's when I started focusing on branding, turning one-time sales into long-term customers. I built brands with real packaging, real customer support, and real marketing systems behind them. And that's what has allowed me to do over 7 figures in sales while actually keeping some money in my pocket. Now I'm in a place where I not only run multiple stores, but I help others do the same. Whether it's through my mentorship or my content, I want people who come from where I come to know that it's possible. You don't need rich parents, you don't need connections. All you need is the internet, the right mindset, and the discipline to figure it out. I went from sharing a room in Section 8 housing with my 2 brothers to making 7 figures online before turning 20, and I'm still just getting started. If you're watching this right now and you're in the same position that I was just in not too long ago, keep going. Learn, test, fail, pivot, and repeat. If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for listening to my story. If you want to see more of my online business journey, just hit the subscribe button. And if you're also serious about starting your own dropshipping business, go ahead and click the link in the description and schedule a one-on-one call with me.